Welcome to another lesson of Endgames. You must know from beginner to master level. And in today's video, we're going to be covering Rook versus Pawn Endgames. And you might ask, alright, we have a Rook, they have a Pawn. Are we not winning? In some cases, you're not. But in most cases, you are. And you gotta know this position in order to avoid unnecessary draws. Let's take a look at this position. Do you think white can win, or is it a draw? So here white are pushing their king towards c1 square, c3, king f4, c2, and now rook is going to attack the pawn on c5. King goes to b3, and now we're just on time to get to this pawn, and this position is a draw. Now let's take a look at the second position, and they highlighted squares. And what do you think they mean? They basically mean if king was located on one of these squares in the starting position, this would have been a draw. But in this case, white king is on f7 and white are winning the game. They go around the pawn, king f6, and now king d5, king d4, and now again white's king is on time, rook e1, rook e2 is to be followed, and white win the game. Now let's move on to ending number 22. The ending 22 is defending king on the third, or in this case on the sixth rank cutoff along a rank. So as you might see, our king is on h8, and potentially it has no chance of coming to, let's say, to a1 and b1 and stop this pawn. So here white have only one winning move, which is rook g5. We cut the king of the fifth rank, and now they can't do anything. They push the pawn and we get our king closer. They push the pawn, but now we can leave the rook back. a2, rook a3, white take the pawn and win the game. Let's move on to ending number 23. Strong king behind the pawn. So here, black are very advanced. They're trying to help their pawn be promoted, and they play king c3. The king on c6 is behind the stronger pawn. King c5, b3, rook h3 check, king c2, king c4, b2, and after rook h2, you have a very, very tricky move, which is you can play king c1, and then after king c3 you play b1 knight. But you can also go for king b1 first. And it looks like, man, you're just giving up upon after king b3. We're going to win. No, you won't, because we have king a1, and the next move is promotion. Now white have to take, and it is a stalemate. Now in this position, however, as we saw in the previous example, let's scroll it. The pawn is on the fourth rank, while in this position it's on the fifth rank, and white have a maneuver called outflanking. And here they play rook h5, and now they go around with their king by playing king c6, king b5, king b4, and now we can stop this pawn. Rook c5, king d3, king b3, and white take the pawn and win the game. Let's go to ending number 24. Stronger side's king on one side. So here, king only for black, king on h5 white, they're on the same side. Here we use kind of, shouldering pattern. We play king g4. And the point of king g4, we're trying to play rook e1 and get the king on d file, and then we can get closer to this pawn. King f3, king e2, king e1. Now king f3. We play king g3 again. Now king e2 can't be played, because then we take the pawn on d4, they play d3, we play rook e1 check, and after, let's say, king d4, we'll simply go king f2, we'll stop the pawn by playing rook e1, king e2, and the game is over. King d2, king f2, and the same thing happens here. White win the game. In the next example, once again, it's not quite the same side here, but white can still win the game. Rook f8, king goes to e2, now we attack the pawn from g4, from j8 to g4, and now king has to protect this pawn by playing king f3, and now we place our king to d3, and now we're trying to give rook f8 check, so the king will have to go to g file, and then we will start chasing it with our king. King goes to e2, the position is completely winning, black resigns. The next example, once again, same side, the pawn is getting very close, but we use the rook on the long side. We play rook a2 check, king goes to 3, and now we slide the rook to the last rank, trying to shoulder it by playing rook f8. e3, rook f8, king a2, king g2, and once again, white are winning. Let's get to ending number 25. Ending number 25 is the rook in front of the opponent's pawn. So here black are going this side and white are going this side, and white play rook a2. Black push. Now you get the rook back and you're using kind of zugzwang pattern. Now king has to move. They try to go king f5, now you play king f7, and now it is a zugzwang. So if black's king is going to f4, you can see the arrow, king on e7 will go to d6 and outflank the opponent from this side. If king goes to d4 to f6, then the same thing happens. Let's analyze king f4, now king d6, king f3, king d5, e3, e2, king d3, white take the pawn and win the game. Let's get to ending number 26. There might be some complication with the knight's pawn. This position is winning for white pieces. Let me show you how. So first, white give a check, king goes to b3, and now we start getting our king closer to b5 pawn. Before, king d6, king a2, king c5 attacking the pawn, b3, king b4, b2, and now rook a7 check. King has to go to the first rank, king goes to b3, king c1, rook c7. Now if king goes to d file, we'll take the pawn, but king b1. And now, guys, it's very important the move you make. And I want you to actually think right now for a sec. If you play, and if you set right now in front of your screen that rook c2 is a winning move, that's what we analyzed earlier in this video. This is a pattern, stalemate pattern, king goes to a1, rook b2 is a stalemate. So you gotta play rook b7, and now no matter where this king goes, king c2 will be, or king a2 will be winning. Let's go king a1, king c2, and now there is no way to save this pawn. White win the game. Let's get to ending number 27. The rook's pawn, and this position is winning for white once again. They go rook h4 check, king goes to b3, and now we attack the pawn, and once again we do the same thing till the pawn reaches the first rank. a3 check, king b4 check, king b3, and now the point is black are in complete zugzwang, nothing helped them. They go a1, queen promotion, rook h1 is a checkmate. Now, ending number 28. There are still cases where black can make a draw using the stalemate tricks. So in the following position, let's take a look at the first one here. Rook b8 check, king goes to a1, and now the king is locked and cut off from b file. The pawn can't move, and you know, whatever white do, it is a draw. They check, 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 and this is a draw. Now let's take a look at this position, which you saw first by mistake. This position is still a draw, but the technique is slightly different, and you will see why. So king b2, rook b8 check, and now king goes not to a1, because this will be actually losing, which we'll see later, but to c1. And after king c3, you push the pawn to a2, and now the only way to stop it is by playing rook a8. And after king b1, rook b8, you don't go to a1 like in the previous example, because king is on c3. Now rook can go this way, and after king b1, this will be a checkmate. Unfortunately, this pawn is in a very bad square, and it blocks the escape square. It is a checkmate. So we play rook c1, king c1 back, and now there is nothing white can do. They can try rook h8, but unfortunately they will lose. So they have to come up with a different approach and basically play for a draw after king c1, rook a8, and we'll simply repeat the moves. This is a draw. Let's get to penultimate ending position of this lesson, ending number 29. This is actually the last endgame position in this lesson, so you don't have to wait for a long time here. Ending number 29, the pawn wins against the rook. So here we're about to promote, and the rook start checking you from the side. So first they go rook f6, king d5, rook f5. And you might ask, why don't just go king c6, and after rook f6 just go king b7, and you're completely winning, right? But after king c6, there is rook f1, and now this pawn will be stopped, because if we promote, this will only be a draw as black win the queen back. So we just move down. Rook f4, king d3, rook c2, king c2. So now this maneuver no longer works, but black continue checking. They go rook f2, you go king d3, rook f3, and now we reach this b7 square. White promote. They still have technically to win this one, because queen versus rooks are very hard, and against oppositions probably won't be able to win, but you know, you have good practical chances. Hope you enjoyed this lesson. Let me know if you have any questions regarding what you saw in the last, half an hour. I'll see you in the next one next week. Bye bye.